Bechoros Daf hey agutim mayid. The Gemara says that Kontrukas asked Rabbi Yochanan Zakkai two questions in order to bother him. Question number one is, if you add up all the Leviim of the Torah, you come up with 22,300 Leviim. What happened to the extra 300? When the Torah says that the 22,000 Leviim correspond to the 22,000 Bechorei Klai Yisrael of all the Shvatim, the Torah doesn't mention those 300. It says Rabbi Yochanan Zakkai that those 300 themselves were Bechorim, they're the Bechorim of the Leviim. And a Bechor Levi has to redeem himself. He doesn't have the power to redeem a Bechor of Klai Yisrael. Another question he asked him, if you take all the people that gave Machzis HaShekel, that's 600,000, 3,500, 3,500 people. All that adds up to 201 Kikar Kesef and 11 Mana. Yet, the Torah says that Moshe Rabbeinu only gave for the Mishkan 100 Kikar. What happened to the other 101? And you can't say Moshe Rabbeinu put it on the side, because the Torah says Mefurish, Ume'az Kikar Kesef. Says Rabbi Yochanan Zakkai, you have to understand that the value of a Kikar in the Mishkan, in Kodesh, is double the value of a common Kikar. How do I know this? From the Pasuk in Yecheskel. The Pasuk says, Bas Shekel Esrim Gera, and the Pasuk says there's three types of countings you have to do. In order to add up to 60, you come up Esrim Shkolim, Chamisha Esrim Shekel, and then Asara v'Chamisha Shekel. Total of 60, and then the Pasuk finishes off, Hamona Yelochem. So this mana is 60 shekel, which adds up to 240 dinar. Yet the common mana is 100 dinar. So what's going on here? It's 240 versus 100. Says the Gemara, you learn from here two things. First of all, that of Kodesh is double that of Chayil. So double, it should be 200 dinar, not 240. Says the Gemara, yes. Excuse me. When you add, you're allowed to add to measurements, but you can only add up to a sixth more. And 40 is a sixth of 200. Really, it's a fifth of 200. But if you say, and that's the third thing that we learned, that you take the total number, you do 240, and then you take the 40, which is a sixth of 240, and that's how much you're allowed to add. So what we call today a fifth, the Gemara calls a sixth, because we take the total number, the 240, and then we take off a sixth. Says the Gemara, why is it that a donkey is the only non-kosher animal that you have to do Peter Chamar? Says the Gemara, first of all, because it's Exeris HaKasa. But there's a brayso where Yeshua says that the donkey was different than all the animals because Klai Yisrael used, each individual person in Klai Yisrael used 90 donkeys, luvim, which are the best donkeys available, to take out gold and silver from Mitzrayim. I have a moment here, and it's Yonah D'Yom, it's Pesach, so L'Kav Pesach will say, a shtickle, the famous Gemara in Sanhedrin, where the Egyptians brought Klai Yisrael to the Torah by Alexander, and they said, it says Mefurish in the Torah that Klai Yisrael went out with gold and silver. So they brought this person Ben Pesia, who said, I can prove it from the Torah. Your whole proof is from the Torah. In the Torah it says that Klai Yisrael were slaves for 430 years, times 600,000 people. You actually owe us money. And Alexander gave them 3 days to think about it. They couldn't come up with an answer, and they ran away and they left their fields for the Jews. Going back to our Gemara, the Gemara says, why is it that Amalek did war with Klai Yisrael in Refidim? Does Refidim have underlying meaning? Says the Gemara, first of all, Refidim, that's the name of the place. But if you want an underlying meaning, Refidim means Sherafu Yidayim Min Torah, their hands became weak in Torah, they stopped learning Torah, and that gave an opening for Amalek to come in. Another question the Gemara says, why is it that Klai Yisrael stayed by Shittim when they sinned with Bnei Smayav? Says the Gemara, Shittim, first of all, that's the name of the place, but if you want a deeper meaning, Shittim also is a lashon of shtus, that they did a shtus, like the Gemara says, and then the Gemara, on that theme, with Bnei Smayav, it says in the Pasuk, Vatikrena la'am. What does Vatikrena la'am mean? One pshat is that the Bnei Smayav came out to be machshel in order to entice Klai Yisrael. They came out literally without any clothing on. Another pshat is Vatikrena is a lashon of keri, that there wasn't a person in Klai Yisrael that night that wasn't a Baal keri. Then the Mishnah says as follows. There's a concept called nidma. Nidma means if an animal gives birth to another type of looking animal. So if a cow gives birth to something that looks like a donkey, or a donkey gives birth to something that looks like a cow, and it has no resemblance whatsoever to its mother, then it's pater from Bechar. However, if it has resemblance to its mother, it has some sort of simanim, then you would be chayiv in Bechar. How do you know this? So our Mishnah says, because it says in the pasuk Petach Hamar twice. So that means that the mother and the offspring have to look identical. And the other Tana that learns from a different pasuk is going to learn out from this pasuk that comes to exclude other animals from Petach Hamar, such as a horse and other tamei animals. Rabbi Yosef Aglili learns because it says in the pasuk Ach Bechar Shar, and the word Bechar would have been enough here. But the Torah continues, Oy Bechar Se, Oy Bechar Eis. So the extra Bechar, the words Bechar, says Rabbi Yosef Aglili, come to tell us that the mother and the offspring, the Bechar, have to look identical. The other Tana says, well, I need the pasuk to tell us that it says in that pasuk that you have to be makriv v'hikter sachelev. You have to be makriv the chelev, the imurim of the Bechar, of the Shar, of the Sen, the Eis. Why does the Torah have to say it 3 times? The Gemara says that I cannot learn out 1 from 1, and I can't even learn out 1 from 2. I can't learn out anything from a Shar because it has a chumrah. You bring double the amount of wine when you bring the Nesach and when you bring a carbon. You have to bring a Chatzihin versus a Revi'asin. I can't learn anything out from a sheep because I have to be makder its tail. Its tail goes on the Mizbeach, whereas other tails of a Shar and a goat don't. And I can't learn anything out from a goat because a goat is so chomer that when a person does Avodah Zarah, I bring a goat as a carbon. So maybe I should learn out an ox from a goat and a sheep. No, goat and a sheep are special. You bring them as a carbon Pesach. Maybe I should learn out a goat from a sheep and an ox. Sheep and ox are special, like we said before. The sheep, its tail goes in the Mizbeach, and ox, the wine goes double the wine on the Mizbeach. So maybe I should learn out a sheep from a goat and an ox. No, because a goat and an ox, if Klal Yisrael, the community, does Avodah Zarah, they bring a goat and an ox. You should have a wonderful Yontav. I'll see you tomorrow, Be'ezer Hashem.